Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Ask, Learn, Grow, the show where the Reef team answer questions and share updates and insights from the digital marketing industry. I'm joined today with digital marketer Joel Evans, and we're going to be talking about domain and page authority. You may or may not have heard these metrics thrown around in the context of SEO, and you may be aware that they could potentially have an effect on your SEO success. So what we're going to do, and correct me if I'm wrong in saying this, Joel, we're going to look at each one of these things in turn, domain authority and page authority, and then finish off with the most important thing, and that's why you should care and why it matters in relation to SEO.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're looking at.
Cool. So should we start with domain authority?
Yep. So the best way to understand domain authority is that it is a score given to your website by search engines. And what that score means is how authoritative your website is compared to other websites on the internet. Now, the best way to understand domain authority in terms of a very useful metaphor is we'll use real estate. So imagine property value. The domain authority is Google's understanding of your overall website's value. Compare that to a house's overall property value. Page authority, on the other hand, imagine that is a score given to different rooms within the house. So page authority is the authority rating given to your individual page comparatively to the overall website. So usually you won't have a page authority that is higher than the overall domain authority, but stranger things have happened in the SEO world, but you will have different levels of authority across your different pages. So pages that are more optimized, have more links pointing towards them internally and links inbound from other websites. That these are all factors that come into play when it comes to page authority, and that's how your page authority relates to your domain authority and the difference between them.
Cool. And what do you use to measure domain authority and page authority?
There's a lot of useful tools out there that you can use. You can use Moz, that's a popular one. You can also use Ahrefs, but really any SEO tool on the market traditionally nowadays will come with a domain and page authority with functionality, we can say.
Okay, and in the context of SEO, why do these things matter? You know, how can we link these metrics to SEO success?
So we'll start with page authority. So the page authority matters because it relates to the success of the individual page. So your home page will traditionally have the most authority on your website, comparatively to your other landing pages. But the reason why it matters for your SEO is because that affects the performance of that individual page in search. So if you want to grow your your page authority for a particular page, you will want to be increasing the number of links pointing to that page from other pages on your website. You will want to be increasing the links pointing to that page from external domains, and you will want to make sure that page is optimized with the right content, the right H2 structure, the right keywords to be an authoritative piece of content on that topic area, whatever the topic of the landing page is, or blog post, because they function essentially the same when it comes to page authority. Domain authority, on the other hand, now this is where you really get strategic with your SEO, because you will improve the domain authority by working on different sections of the website overall to contribute to the whole, if that makes sense. So you're working on you might work on this landing page over here, you want to boost that page's authority. You might work on this other landing page over here, you want to boost that page's authority. By working on individual sections of the website, you boost the overall domain authority as a whole.
And what are the benefits of having a strong domain authority?
The benefits of having a strong domain authority is that it improves the likelihood that you will rank in search for much more competitive keywords, because when the search engines have to determine which website is the most authoritative source of information or the most credible source, it will look at domain authority as one of the key ranking factors. Is this a website that is authoritative enough for users to get a valuable experience for this search query? Page authority will play into that a little bit, but if the domain authority is high enough, then sometimes page authority can be overlooked.
So generally speaking, if you've got a solid SEO strategy that takes account of this and working on pages strategically, that's going to improve the page authority of whatever you're working on, plus the domain authority of the site as a whole. And if you do have a strong domain authority, the benefits of that in terms of SEO is you can, generally speaking, compete at a high level for more competitive, high traffic keywords. And also for, I guess, the lower competition stuff or newer pages that you create, you have to potentially work it's a little bit easier to compete for those. So you kind of get the double-edged benefit of doing this. Is that right?
Exactly. And if you're doing your SEO properly, you won't necessarily need to have a strategy to go after high domain authority or to go after high page authority. It'll come naturally as you optimize your content and as you work on your link building strategy back to get links back to that content, as you will sculpt the authority of the website internally by adding the right internal links. If you've technical SEOs all in order, this will all come naturally. You won't actually have to sit there and worry about, do I have a good strategy to go after domain authority or page authority? It will just come naturally if you've got a solid SEO strategy to begin with.
Agree. It's a metric rather than an objective, isn't it? It's an indicator as to what you're doing and how well you're doing, and potentially the level of effort that you'll need to put into certain campaigns to help with forecasting, rather than the objective itself being to increase the domain authority.
Exactly. And a lot of clients can get hung up about their domain and page authority compared to competitors' domain and page authority. Don't worry about that. It's a unique set of circumstances on their website compared to the unique set of circumstances on your website. Don't be worrying about that. That is really a waste of your time. Focus on your own website, doing the right SEO work on your own website, and it will come naturally.
Great stuff. Anything else to add, or does that pretty much wrap up this call on domain authority?
That pretty much wraps it up.
Cool. Okay, Joel, thanks a lot for your time today. Some really good insights there. If you've got any questions about domain authority or SEO in general, feel free to send them in and we're always happy to help. If you'd like to see the team answer a burning question in one of the future videos or cover a specific topic, we are open to recommendations and we'll see what we can do. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be notified of when the next video is available. Apart from that, thanks everyone for watching and enjoy the rest of your day.